My phone buzzed on the table, pulling me from the comfort of my afternoon. I glanced at the screen, expecting a message from Ethan, but instead, it was an unknown number. Curiosity piqued, I opened the message. My heart sank as the words blurred together. Ethan is with Celeste. They've been seeing each other for months. I stared at the screen, unable to comprehend the betrayal. Celeste? My friend? The one I confided in? The world around me felt like it was shattering into a million pieces. What did I do to deserve this? My mind raced with questions. Did he love her? Was I not enough? I needed to see myself, to confront the pain rising in my chest. I hurried to the bathroom, the bright lights harsh against my skin. The mirror reflected a woman I barely recognized, her eyes filled with tears and confusion. Why? I whispered to my reflection. Why would he do this? My hands trembled as I brushed a strand of hair behind my ear. I could almost hear Ethan's laughter in the background, a sound that now felt like a cruel joke. Suddenly, the anger surged within me. I could not let this betrayal pass without consequence. I had to take control. This ends now, I muttered, my voice steadying. My anguish would fuel my revenge. I would not let Ethan or Celeste think they could get away with this. I would become the master of my own story, and they would soon learn that I was not to be underestimated. With that thought, I made a decision. I would observe Ethan. I would watch him closely, gather evidence, and find the perfect moment to strike. The thrill of the plan sent a rush of adrenaline through me. I felt alive in a way I hadn't in months. I would become a shadow in his life, an unseen force, all while plotting my next move. The next day, I found myself sitting in my car outside Ethan's office, my heart pounding. I watched as he walked out, his smile infectious and carefree. Did he have any idea what I was planning? Did he even care? I felt a mix of anger and determination. I was not just going to sit back and let him live his life while I was left in shambles. Hey, Amara, what are you doing here? I jumped at the sound of Lila's voice. She approached my car with a bright smile, completely unaware of the turmoil within me. Just enjoying the view, I replied, forcing a smile that felt foreign. Inside, I was screaming. I didn't want to talk about the weather or share casual pleasantries. I wanted to scream out my pain, but I couldn't. Not yet. Want to grab a coffee? Lila suggested, her eyes sparkling with excitement. I hesitated, torn between my desire for comfort and my need for solitude. I could use a friend, she added, sensing my reluctance. Sure, why not? I agreed, surprising even myself. As we walked to the cafe, I found myself sharing bits and pieces of my life, but I carefully avoided the subject of Ethan. I didn't want to burden her with my pain. Later, as I returned to my car, I felt a sense of relief wash over me. Talking to Lila had helped, even if just a little, but the gnawing feeling of betrayal still lingered. I had to keep my focus. I had to plan. As the sun dipped below the horizon, I knew my task was just beginning. I would not just observe. I would become a strategist. I would gather every piece of information, every moment of weakness, and use it to my advantage. Ethan and Celeste would not see me coming. With a renewed sense of purpose, I drove home, my mind racing with possibilities. What would I uncover? How would I confront them? I could hardly wait to find out. The game had just begun, and I was ready to play. I became a shadow, slipping through the streets as I followed Ethan and Celeste. Each step felt heavy, my heart racing with a mix of anger and sadness. I watched them from a distance, hiding behind trees and parked cars. I could see the way they laughed together, the way Ethan's eyes lit up when he looked at her. It hurt. I thought about all the times I had shared with Ethan, the moments that felt real and true. But now, watching him with Celeste, I felt like a ghost in my own life. I whispered to myself, why can't I be the one he smiles at like that? my hands balled into fists as I tried to push the thoughts away. It was during one of these lonely evenings that I reconnected with Lila. She was an old friend from college, someone I had lost touch with over the years. I reached out needing someone to talk to. "Hey Lila, can we meet up? I really need to talk," I said, my voice shaky over the phone. "Of course, Amara, I've missed you. Let's grab some coffee," she replied, her tone warm and inviting. When we met at our favorite cafe, I poured my heart out to her. "Lila, everything is falling apart. I found out Ethan is with Celeste, and I don't know what to do." Tears filled my eyes as I spoke, feeling vulnerable. Lila listened carefully, her expression serious. "I'm so sorry, Amara. You deserve so much better than this. Have you thought about confronting him?" I shook my head. "No, not yet. I want to gather proof first. I need to make sure he understands the pain he caused." "Let me help you," she offered. "We can come up with a plan together." As the days passed, I became more skilled at being a silent observer. I took notes, snapped pictures, and recorded every interaction between Ethan and Celeste. Each snapshot felt like a piece of my heart breaking again. One afternoon, I caught them at a park, enjoying ice cream. Ethan leaned in, whispering something in her ear, making her laugh. I clenched my teeth, holding back my own tears. "Amara, are you okay?" Lila asked during one of our planning sessions. I could hear the concern in her voice. "I don't know," I admitted. "Part of me feels strong, but another part is just hurt. I keep thinking about the love we had." Lila reached out and squeezed my hand. "It's okay to feel both things. Just remember, you're doing this for you, not for him." Her words gave me strength, but the weight of my emotions still dragged me down. I kept reminding myself that I had a purpose, a goal. Revenge was not just about hurting Ethan, it was about reclaiming my power. One night, while I was scrolling through the photos I had taken, something clicked in my mind. Revenge wouldn't just be about observation, it would need careful planning. I needed to be strategic, to make my next moves count. I thought about how to confront Ethan and Celeste, to expose their betrayal in a way that would leave a mark. "Lila," I said, my voice steady, "I think I know what I need to do. I need to gather everything I have and set a time to confront them, but I want it to be perfect. I want them to see me strong." Lila nodded, her eyes brightening. "That's the spirit. Let's make a list of what you want to say, and we can plan it out together." As we worked, I felt a sense of clarity wash over me. I would not be a victim anymore. I would take control of my narrative, and this time, I would write it on my own terms. The next day, I watched Ethan from a distance again, but this time, it felt different. I felt empowered, knowing that I was no longer just a passive observer. I was preparing for my moment, ready to confront the truth and ready to reclaim my life. The cafe was buzzing with energy, but I felt like I was in a bubble, separate from the world around me. I had come here to grab a coffee, hoping for a quiet moment to collect my thoughts. Instead, I found myself face to face with Celeste. The air thickened with tension as our eyes locked. "What are you doing here?" I managed to ask, my voice shaky. Celeste looked just as surprised as I felt. "I could ask you the same thing, Amara." I took a deep breath, trying to calm the storm inside me. "I thought I could escape for a moment, but it seems like you're everywhere I go." "Maybe it's fate," she said, folding her arms defensively. "Or maybe it's just a small town." I stepped closer, my heart racing. "You know why I'm really here. You and Ethan, you've taken everything from me." The bitterness in my voice surprised even me. Celeste's expression shifted. "I didn't take anything from you. Ethan and it just happened." "Just happened?" I scoffed, feeling the anger boil beneath my skin. "You knew he was with me. You knew how much I loved him." Her eyes softened, and for a brief moment, I saw a flicker of vulnerability. "I didn't plan this, Amara. I never meant to hurt you. I'm not the villain in this story." "Then what are you?" I challenged, feeling the walls closing in around me. "You're the other woman. You were supposed to be my friend." "I didn't choose this," she said, her voice trembling. "I fell for him, and it was complicated. It still is." I shook my head, my thoughts swirling. "Complicated? You think that makes it okay? You think that excuses your actions?" Celeste stepped closer, her gaze steady. "What if I told you I feel just as lost as you do? What if I told you that I didn't know he was serious with you until it was too late?" I paused, her words hitting me harder than I expected. "You expect me to believe that?" "Why would I lie?" she asked, her voice sincere. "I didn't want any of this. I thought he was single. And then I found out, and I felt trapped." "Trapped?" I echoed, my anger wavering. "What about me? I'm the one who was left in the dark." "I know," she whispered, tears shining in her eyes. "And I'm sorry, but can't you see? We are both victims here." Her words hung in the air, and I felt the weight of them. "Victims? You made a choice, Celeste. You chose to be with him." "I didn't know how deep it ran," she said, her voice breaking. "I thought it was just fun, something to escape. I didn't know I would get hurt too." I took a step back, my mind racing. "So what now? Are we supposed to sit here and bond over our heartbreak?" "Maybe we should," she replied softly. "Maybe there's a way to understand each other instead of just fighting." I shook my head, feeling conflicted. "I don't know if I can do that. All I wanted was to make you pay for what you did." "And what would that accomplish?" she asked. "More pain? More hurt?" I could feel my heart softening, and it scared me. "I've spent so much time plotting revenge. I thought that would make me feel better." "Revenge doesn't heal wounds, Amara," she said, her voice earnest. "It only creates more scars." I looked into her eyes, searching for any sign of deceit, but all I saw was honesty. "I don't want to feel this way anymore," I admitted, feeling the tears threaten to spill. "I just wanted to be enough for Ethan." "You are enough," Celeste said firmly. "But you need to believe it. We can't change what happened, but we can choose how to move forward." As I stood there, the weight of our shared pain hung like fog between us. I was torn. A part of me wanted to cling to my anger, to my desire for revenge. But another part, the part that connected with Celeste, yearned for something different. "Maybe we can find a way to heal," I said slowly, unsure of where this path would lead. Celeste nodded, a fragile smile breaking through her tears. "I'd like that. Let's not be enemies anymore." As we stood there, a strange bond formed between us, one that complicated everything I thought I had wanted. As I sat on my bed, the sunlight streamed through the window, illuminating the space, but not my heart. I felt a weight pressing down on me, a mix of anger and confusion swirling inside. I had been so focused on Ethan and Celeste that I hadn't noticed the shadows creeping in closer, shadows that belonged to my once trusted friend, Lila. My phone buzzed beside me, pulling me from my thoughts. It was a message from Lila. "Can we talk? I need to explain something." My heart raced. I had been sharing my plans with her, trusting her as my confidant in this twisted path of revenge. But doubt gnawed at me. What could she possibly need to explain? I met Lila at our favorite coffee shop, the familiar scent of roasted beans mixing with the bitter taste of my unease. As I approached, I noticed her fidgeting with her hands, her eyes darting around the room. "Hey, Amara," she said, forcing a smile that didn't reach her eyes. "Lila, what's going on?" "You seemed anxious in your message," I replied, trying to keep my voice steady. She took a deep breath, her expression shifting from nervousness to resignation. "I need to be honest with you. I've been keeping something from you. Something about Ethan." My stomach dropped. "What do you mean? What could you possibly know?" I dated him before, in college. We broke up because he cheated on me and I thought he had changed. I didn't tell you because I didn't want to hurt you, she confessed, her voice trembling. Are you serious? I felt the ground beneath me shift. You were with him and you didn't think to mention this? You let me think I could trust you. I thought it was in the past. I thought, she stammered, but I cut her off. You thought what? That I needed to be blindsided again? My voice was rising, drawing the attention of nearby tables. You've been feeding me lies while pretending to be my friend. Amara, please, she pleaded, looking genuinely pained. I never wanted to hurt you. I was trying to help. I thought I could keep you away from him. I thought you needed someone to trust. Trust? You've shattered my trust. I felt tears prick my eyes, the betrayal cutting deeper than I had anticipated. You're no better than Ethan. You both hid the truth from me. Her face fell, and for a moment I felt a pang of sympathy. I never meant to deceive you. I just didn't know how to tell you. Maybe you should have thought about that before letting me spill my heart to you. I shot back, my voice thick with emotion. I've been hurt enough without this. As I stormed out of the coffee shop, my heart raced not just with anger, but with a growing sense of isolation. How could someone I trusted betray me so easily? The realization hit me. Betrayal ran deeper than I thought. It wasn't just Ethan. It was Lila, too. I walked through the streets, the world around me fading as I wrestled with my emotions. I felt more alone than ever. The anger I had toward Ethan had now shifted to Lila, leaving me in a whirlwind of confusion. What was I supposed to do now? I stopped at a park, taking a moment to breathe. I sat on a bench, watching the children play, their laughter echoing in the background. I longed for that simplicity, that innocence. But my reality was complicated, tangled in a web of deceit I never saw coming. Amara? A voice broke through my thoughts. It was Lila, standing a few feet away. I'm sorry for everything. Please, let's talk this through. I shook my head, my heart racing again. What's there to talk about? You've shown me who you really are. I can help you, she urged, desperation in her eyes. I know him well. I can give you insights on how to confront him. Why would I trust you after all this? I questioned, feeling the tears finally escape. You've done more damage than good. I understand, she replied softly. But I want to make it right. I want to help you take back control. As she stood there, I could see sincerity in her eyes, but the betrayal still stung. I was caught between two betrayals, and I had to face the reality of my situation. I felt more determined than ever. I would confront both Ethan and Lila. I would not let this betrayal define me. I'll think about it, I said finally, my voice steady but my heart racing. I turned away, knowing that the emotional showdown was inevitable. The stage was set, and I was ready to reclaim my narrative. I stood in front of the mirror, my reflection staring back at me with a mix of anger and sadness. Today was the day. I had finally decided to confront both Ethan and Lila. I could feel my heart racing as I thought about what I was going to say. The betrayal from both of them had cut deep, and I was ready to lay everything bare. I took a deep breath and walked into the living room, where I had asked Ethan and Lila to meet. The air felt heavy with anticipation. The moment they walked in, I could see the confusion on their faces. They had no idea what was coming. Why did you both want to meet? Ethan asked, his tone casual, as if nothing was wrong. I narrowed my eyes at him, feeling the anger bubbling up inside me. You know exactly why I asked you here, Ethan. I'm done playing games. Lila shifted uncomfortably next to him. Amara, maybe we can talk about this calmly, she said, trying to diffuse the situation. I shook my head. Calm? How can I be calm when I've been lied to, when I've been betrayed? Ethan's expression changed. He looked defensive, but there was no way I was going to back down now. What are you talking about? he asked, though I could see a flicker of concern in his eyes. I stepped forward, my voice steady but filled with emotion. I know about you and Celeste. I know about everything. You thought I wouldn't find out, didn't you? Ethan's face paled. Amara, please. It's not what you think. Not what I think? I interrupted. You think I'm going to let you spin this into some kind of excuse? You cheated on me, Ethan. And Lila, you knew. You were supposed to be my friend. Lila looked down, shame washing over her face. I didn't want to hurt you. I thought I could fix things without telling you, she mumbled. Fix things? I echoed incredulously. You thought keeping secrets would help me. You both have no idea how much I've suffered because of your lies. Just then, the door swung open, and Celeste walked in. Her presence was unexpected, but somehow fitting. Amara, I came to see if you were okay, she said softly. I looked at her, surprised but relieved. You? You actually care? Celeste nodded, her eyes filled with sincerity. I know I've hurt you, but I want to be honest. I never meant for this to happen. Ethan's eyes widened in shock. Celeste, you shouldn't be here, he said, his voice rising. No, Ethan, I need to be here, she replied, standing her ground. Amara deserves to know everything. This is about her, not us. I felt a strange connection with her in that moment. We were both victims of Ethan's deception. What do you mean? I asked, my voice softer. Celeste took a deep breath. Ethan and it started when he was feeling lost. I didn't know he was with you. I thought he was single. I never wanted to hurt you. The room fell silent. I could see Ethan's face crumbling, his facade of confidence fading. Amara, please, he said, desperation creeping into his voice. It wasn't supposed to be like this. I made a mistake. A mistake? I scoffed. You didn't just trip and fall, Ethan. You chose to betray me. You chose to lie. And Lila, you stood by and let it happen. Lila looked up, tears filling her eyes. I'm so sorry, Amara. I was weak. I thought I was helping you by keeping you in the dark. Helping me. I felt the bitterness rise in my throat. You both took my trust and threw it away. But that ends today. I won't let you define my story anymore. As I spoke, I felt a surge of strength. I wasn't just a victim. I was reclaiming my narrative. I choose to move forward, I declared, looking at both of them. You can't control how this ends for me. Ethan and Lila exchanged glances, and I could see the realization dawning on them. They had underestimated me. This confrontation was not just about revenge, it was about empowerment. Amara, Celeste said gently, I know we can't change what happened, but I'm here if you want to talk. You are stronger than you think. I nodded, feeling a mixture of anger and relief. Thank you, Celeste. I may not forgive you today, but I will find my way. As the weight of the confrontation settled, I realized that this was not the end, but a new beginning. I was ready to take control, to write my own story from here on out. After the storm of emotions settled, I found myself staring out of my window, watching the leaves sway gently in the breeze. It was a peaceful sight, yet my heart felt heavy with the weight of everything that had happened. The confrontation with Ethan and Lila had left a mark on my soul, but it also opened my eyes to what truly mattered. I took a deep breath, trying to calm the chaos inside me. Amara, you need to move forward, I whispered to myself. I could still hear the echoes of the confrontation in my mind. Ethan's pleading eyes, Lila's tears, they haunted me. But I knew I had to let go of the anger that held me captive. That evening, I sat in my favorite coffee shop, the warmth of the place wrapping around me like a comforting hug. I pulled out my journal, its pages filled with my thoughts and feelings from the past few weeks. As I wrote, the words flowed freely. Dear Journal, I began, today I learned that love is not just about trust, it's also about knowing your worth. I paused, reflecting on my journey. I had let Ethan's betrayal define me for too long. Suddenly, my phone buzzed. It was a message from Lila. "Can we talk? I miss you." I hesitated for a moment before typing back. "I need time, Lila. I'm still processing everything." I hit send and took another sip of my coffee, feeling a mix of sadness and relief. As I continued to write, I felt a sense of clarity wash over me. "I am stronger than I thought," I wrote. "I deserve to find happiness, and I will not let the past hold me back." The words felt powerful, almost like a promise to myself. A few days later, I decided to meet with my old friend, Mia. We had lost touch over the years, but I remembered how much I valued her friendship. I called her and suggested we meet for lunch. "It's been too long," I said, my voice filled with excitement. When we sat down at the restaurant, Mia looked radiant. "Amara, it's so good to see you," she exclaimed, hugging me tightly. Her warmth instantly lifted my spirits. "I've been through a lot recently, but I'm ready to start fresh," I confessed, my heart feeling lighter. Mia smiled knowingly. "Sometimes we need to let go of what weighs us down to embrace new beginnings. You're on the right path." Her words resonated deeply with me. I felt a flicker of hope igniting inside me. "I want to focus on myself, on what makes me happy," I shared. "I've been so consumed by anger and betrayal. It's time for a change." Mia nodded. "That's the spirit. Let's make plans to do things you love. You deserve joy." Over the next few weeks, I dedicated time to rediscovering myself. I took up painting, something I had loved as a child but had abandoned long ago. Each brushstroke felt like a release, allowing me to express my emotions in a way that words could not. One afternoon, as I painted, I heard a knock on my door. It was Celeste. I hesitated for a moment but then opened the door, curiosity getting the better of me. "Hey, Amara," she said softly, her eyes filled with sincerity. "I wanted to apologize for everything." I took a deep breath, my heart racing. "Thank you, Celeste. That means a lot." We talked for hours, sharing our stories and experiences. I realized that despite the pain, there was room for understanding and growth. "We are both stronger than we think," she said, a small smile breaking through. As I sat there, I felt the weight of my past slowly lifting. I looked at Celeste and said, "Let's move forward, together." With each passing day, I embraced new opportunities and connections. I started volunteering at a local shelter, finding joy in helping others. I felt a sense of purpose growing within me, one that I had lost for so long. In that moment of clarity, I understood that true strength comes from within. I was not defined by betrayal or hurt. I was defined by my ability to rise, to embrace the future, and to find hope in the smallest things. As I stood at the brink of a new beginning, I smiled, ready to take the next step into my life. The echoes of my past would always be there, but they would no longer control me. I was Amara, and I was ready to shine. Share this story if you believe that true strength comes from embracing new beginnings, even after heartbreak. Leave a comment about a time when you found the courage to move forward and subscribe for more inspiring stories like this one.